Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 3. So as you should all know, we had the premiere of The Flash Season 3 this week with the first episode, Flashpoint, where we saw Barry Allen and a host of other characters we are used to seeing, but in an alternate timeline, and in some cases in completely different roles. Now, obviously if you haven't seen the first episode, don't continue watching as we will be going into spoilers from that episode, as well as possibly referencing some new trailer footage for Season 3 of The Flash. So if you don't like watching the trailers and finding out stuff that way, then you may not want to watch the rest of this video either. Throughout the Flashpoint episode we were introduced to Iris, and she was pretty similar to how she was in the normal timeline, apart from the fact that she was a TV news reporter from what I remember, compared to the regular timeline where she is just a newspaper journalist. Along with this were her relationships, apart from the big one being the relationship between her and Barry, which throughout the episode grows stronger and makes it pretty clear that their connection spreads throughout the multiverse and alternate timelines, as if they were always meant to be together, just basically taken from the comics. There is the relationship between both Wally, her brother, and Joe, her father. Before we entered the Flashpoint timeline, the relationship to Wally for both Iris and Joe was pretty strong, seeing they had only had him enter their lives around Christmas time from what I remember. But within the actual Flashpoint timeline, we see Iris and Wally are extremely close, and that Iris is the one helping Wally with his Kid Flash duties. However, the relationship between the two and their father, Joe, is not as strong. There does seem to be more friction between Iris and Joe. This may be because she is the older child and sometimes can be the case in real life family disputes, but this also hints at what comes to light when Barry leaves Flashpoint and returns to what he thinks is the exact same timeline that he left before he went to the Flashpoint timeline. When we return to the quote-unquote normal timeline, we learn that Iris and Joe are not on speaking terms. It is sort of made out that Wally still does talk to Iris and is probably the messenger pigeon of sorts if either of them ever have to tell the other something. But Barry is quick to realise that he has messed up, and that his personal adventure and journey may have ruined the lives of the people that he actually cares about. But what actually happened to Iris? Why is she now distant from Joe? We are going to go over some of the most likely options in my opinion. If I do leave out what you think has actually happened between Iris and Joe, make sure to leave it in the comments section below. One quick thing to mention, Iris is not dead. I lost count of how many people thinking that Iris died. I think a lot of people might have missed the line that Wally said where he said they're not on speaking terms or something like that. So Iris is alive and well. You see her in the trailer for the next episode. Don't worry. The first one goes back to just before we are actually introduced to Wally in Season 2, and that is when we're introduced to Francine, Iris' mother. If you remember, Iris took it pretty well meeting her mother, who she thought had actually died from a drug overdose when she was a kid. But what if Iris didn't take it that well and held it against Joe up until this point? She may still have a relationship with Wally, as he wasn't the one that lied to her all these years, and she also might want to have a relationship with her biological brother. But it is Joe that is the one that lied to her, and that she is actually extremely angry at that she didn't get to have a proper relationship with her mother. The second option is the least likely option, so I will not spend too much time on it. Joe is supposedly meant to have like a love interest this year, going by set photos. Iris may be opposed to who he is seeing, and it may be the cause for the silent treatment between the two. I don't think this will be the case, but yeah, I thought I would chuck it in because it could still be an option. And finally we have the third and final option of mine, and that has to do with the introduction of Wally. Now, as I said, they sort of made it out that Wally may speak to Iris, but they don't flat out say it. They don't say, oh, I was talking to Iris earlier. Like, there's nothing like that. So maybe Iris and Wally only met a few times. And what I'm getting at is that possibly when Wally came to town, Joe put all of his time and interest and effort into Wally and getting to know him better and make him his actual son, if you know what I mean, and just basically pushed Iris to the side. Maybe Iris went through something personally that Joe wasn't there to help her with, and it was something that a father would have to help their daughter with. This option is likely, as it is something that, once again, does happen with real world families and friendships, and I think would actually work on the show and play out pretty well. Overall, I think the most likely option out of my three options is the first one, but I could see the third option happening as well. The second option, as I said, I just chucked it in because there are set photos that sort of hinted it. But leave your opinions in the comment section below. Do you think any of these options are the real one? Or do you have an option of your own? If so, as I said before, leave it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you later guys, goodbye.